third time's a charm. We took a month off from IUI just because we had our triathlon. So I did a mini triathlon, and that was like such a cool accomplishment. And so now we're back, we're ready. I was going to a acupuncture school for a while, and it wasn't as enjoyable as I wanted it to be. And I was just like, okay, I should think about going to like an actual fertility acupuncturist. And my reproductive endocrinologist actually suggested going to one. And so I finally went, and it was amazing. It was kind of life changing. I'm really feeling a lot better about this cycle, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. She was just like, you've been carrying a lot of the natural end and holistic end of this journey with you, and you don't have to do that anymore. Like, you can really rely on us to carry that end. And like, they went over all of my supplements and all of my blood labs, Paul's semen analysis, like, and then the acupuncture session was beautiful. It was meditative, and she kind of just said it's not a matter of if, but when. And so I'm just feeling good about it. On the flip side, our doctor talked to us about IVF. Um, and it's just too expensive. Our insurance does not cover it at all, really. And so we're looking into Mexico. We're looking into a place called CNY Fertility. It's a lot cheaper, and they're opening up an Irvine campus. I don't know. There's pros and cons to IVF for sure. You can get the embryos tested and make sure that the baby's healthy. Like, I just couldn't imagine right now getting pregnant and then not having a healthy baby and then miscarrying or something else. And so I do find peace in knowing that that's something that you can get with IVF. Um, yeah. So I just really hope it doesn't have to come to that. I don't understand why it would. And the more I go on in this process, the more I don't believe in unexplained infertility. And my acupuncturist gave me a ton of different test ideas that I can ask my doctor about. And so she's just like, don't focus on any of that during this IUI cycle. Like, let's just do this. But if it doesn't work, there's other tests that you can talk to your doctor about. So I don't know. I just feel really taken care of now. And I wish I didn't put this off. I wish I did this a lot earlier. So if you are curious about going to a fertility acupuncturist and you are shook by the price, just know that if it's a good one, it's 100% worth it. And that's all I can say. So round 3, we are sticking with the same letrozole 5 milligrams per day, and then the Ovidril shot. And I go in on Monday, so a few days from now, and they'll tell me when to do the trigger shot. So fingers crossed. We're about to do our third IUI. It's November 5th. Lego. Okay, round 3 was really smooth, super easy. I felt like our doctor listened to us, and I had just been curious if my endometrial lining had thickened enough because it was a 4.7 2 days ago, and then she put me on estrogen. And normally she just does the IUI and doesn't check. And so I got the courage, and Paul encouraged me to just be like, can we check the lining? Because it's supposed to be above a 7 to do an IUI. And she checked it, and she was totally fine with that. It was an 8. So that made me so happy. Everything just felt really good. and there was a bee on my window as I was driving there. So I'm taking that as a sign of good luck. I don't know. And so we will stay tuned. My friend Shelly gave me this fertility bowl. And so I'm trying to eat out of it today. It's a self-proclaimed bowl, but we love it. I'm just feeling a lot of love and support, and I'm feeling hopeful. I also didn't share with my family and friends really like that we were doing the IUI today. I'm excited to have a little bit of space in that and less questions and not knowing the timeline exactly. Kind of like if you're traditionally trying, your family doesn't really know when you're going to get your period or whatever. And I just miss that. I miss the people around me not knowing every single aspect. Like I would like to surprise them if we're pregnant. And so I don't know. I'm just feeling good about that. Um, Fingers crossed, praying, and we'll see. Okay, it's 11 days post IUI. A lot of people say they get a positive, faint positive when they test that day. So I'm gonna check. Hello. Was really hoping I wouldn't have to make this video, but here we are. Number 3 failed. We were really, really hopeful for this one. It was cruel of the universe, but we got literally like 20 different signs. Like someone had a dream about me being pregnant. Someone gave us like a sacred heart. We were like in the car together and randomly looked down and it was 11:11 on 11:11. And then I started doing acupuncture this cycle. Also, the number 3 is really important to Paul. That has significant importance in his life. And so we were kind of like, this is it. So I made a consultation for IVF with another company that is is a lot less expensive than the one that we're currently with. And so the closest they could get me in was in a month and a half. So that's why I wanted to make it, because I knew that they get really pushed out. Um, and then it's currently November because we would do IUI again. We just always said we would do it 4 times and then try to move on to IVF. So right now we are about to be at Thanksgiving. And so I'm not sure that they'll be open to doing IUI, the clinic, because I don't know if they'll be open. I don't know if it would be optimal. And then the next time I ovulate after that will be Christmas Day. So that one will not be happening either. And then in January, we have a lot of family in town and we're going to Disneyland. So it just kind of is a whirlwind that it might not be happening this year again. And I just remember last Christmas and getting my period then, and it's just really wild that we're still navigating this, and it's very emotional. We definitely had a moment after this one, just a lot of disbelief, and I'm trying to get excited about the potential of IVF. I'm watching videos and it is exciting. It's very cool that you kind of get to know the genders and get to make sure that they're healthy embryos. Like that does have its perks. It's just not what any woman dreams of. It's not natural. And so we're just in a little bit of shock. And then the fact that we probably wouldn't do that until like 4 months from now is kind of hard on us. We're ready. And so it's like more months are going to go by where there's probably no baby, but who knows? A lot of people do get pregnant like right before they start IVF. So it's just such an emotional roller coaster where you try not to get your hopes up, but then you also want to be optimistic and you want to keep your stress down and you want to have a positive mindset, but then you also need to protect yourself and be realistic. So it is very tiring. I can't believe people go through this for years and years, and I just really pray that that's not the case. I pray that if we do IVF, that it works. And yeah, again, it's just mind-boggling that this is unexplained infertility. My acupuncturist, she told me to ask the fertility specialist about doing like a saline infusion type of thing where they can really check for endometriosis. So I'm going to get the courage to ask my fertility doctor, and I'm going to guess that she's going to not go for that, but we will see. She surprised me last time. So I don't know. It's starting to feel uncomprehendable that I will ever have a positive pregnancy test. Like I just go into a pregnancy test not hopeful or just expecting like a negative, and it's very sad. So this is where we're at. So whenever I'm off my period and before I ovulate, I always do castor oil packs before bed. My acupuncturist recommended it. My health coaching company that I work for, like, it's just something everyone recommends. And it supposedly helps support your liver with detoxing. And I'm always pro lowering inflammation in between cycles and helping my body get rid of these like hormones that were pumping through my body. But yeah, this cycle I am doing 7.5 milligrams of letrozole, and we'll see. We scheduled a consultation for CNY Fertility, which is one of the cheapest IVF places in the US. We are about to get into Thanksgiving and Christmas, and so this is our last IUI cycle, you guys. And then it will be a little bit of a break if it doesn't work because of the holidays. So, yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to show you my castor oil pack situation. So, I use Heritage Store roll-on castor oil. And basically, I only put it over my liver. Some people put it on their whole, like over their gut, but your liver's just right under your right boob. So I'll just put it here, and I will put it a little bit on my gut area. Just depends. And then I have my pack, and I'll just put it over it. I wish I got the Queen of Thrones pack. It's way easier than this, but I did not think I would be using these for as long as I am. This one is just so annoying to put on, but I try to put it on like every other night or every night that I'm in between my cycle and ovulation. Yeah, it's not the cutest, but my husband like gets into bed and literally passes out. So he doesn't even know that I wear this. It's kind of funny. Alrighty, castor oil pack is on. Silent bowl. That's a video. Alrighty, IUI number 4. It's done. We did the shot the other day, and my mom was actually here, so she sat down with me, which was fun. It definitely took away like some of the pressure, and it felt distracting, and yeah, so hopefully that was good juju. And then we did the IUI. I didn't realize when I booked, this or scheduled this IUI that it was going to be on day 15 of my cycle. I just had in my head that it was on day 13, which is when I typically ovulate. And it is a Monday today. So I think I texted or emailed or something the clinic on Saturday just saying, I think I might ovulate and I'm scared. And I went on to all the forums online and everyone's like, oh, they'll bump you up or maybe you should cancel. So I was nervous about that. But then my LH didn't really peak until I don't know if it was Saturday night or Sunday morning. I didn't check Saturday night. I just checked Saturday morning and Sunday morning. And Sunday morning, it definitely was like peaking. And so usually that means you'll ovulate within 24 hours. So I just, went in and did the procedure. And then I checked my Oura ring after because I just wanted to go in with like a positive headspace. And my temperature hasn't risen like crazy. Like it says it's at like a 0. So it never really rose or went down last night. So maybe that's a sign that today I'm going to ovulate. We'll see. I feel indifferent about this IUI. It's hard to feel anything at this point. It's like hope or like, oh, this is the one, because we kind of felt that way for the last 2. It's crazy that this is our last IUI. And I already scheduled like a fertility appointment for an IVF with CNY, and that's December 23rd. So we will know by then. And it's just so many emotions, and every cycle is so different. I feel different every single cycle. Like the last day and today, my stomach has hurt pretty bad. And like that's unusual for me for the last few cycles. So it's just so crazy how our body is, and it's not one size fits all. But we got to enjoy Thanksgiving, and hopefully we will have good news for Christmas. Otherwise, I will probably get excited about IVF. Yeah. Right now, I'm not excited about IVF. So we'll see. Alrighty. So it's been a while. I have been dreading making this video. Just trying to let everything sink in. But basically, I got my period, didn't even have to do a pregnancy test. We had our consultation with a IVF clinic. It's called CNY. There are a lot of negative reviews about CNY. Basically, you have to advocate for yourself a lot. There's a lot of hidden fees, blah, 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 but it's $10,000 to $15,000 cheaper than what we would pay here. So they have been on our radar. So the consultation actually went good. They seem, eager to get people started and work with people. For anyone who is going straight to them, hasn't done IUI or worked with an infertility doctor, they make you do a lot beforehand. So luckily I've already had all my labs drawn. I've done an HSG, I've done a saline sonohistogram or whatever it's called. And so I've done all of that. So I'm like ready. We have family coming in town in January. And so we would actually try to do a few months from now. I'm so nervous about doing shots. It makes me sick to my stomach. It makes me want to cry. I don't know how I'm going to handle it. I cannot watch videos of people online getting shots. I have followed a fellow creator's IVF journey before. Shout out JC Marie Smith. That was long before we were trying. So I just never thought I would have to be in those shoes. And I remember watching her videos and being like, oh my gosh, I pray to God I don't have to do that. It looks so scary, vulnerable, and painful. So I'm very scared. So trying to get excited about it too, but that's just on the forefront. But I know I can get through it. It just sucks that that's really the next move. I feel like I've been in denial the whole time we were doing IUIs. I just really was relying on that to work, or I was like, or we'll get pregnant naturally, magically. I don't know. So it's kind of a crazy thing when you're going through it and you just do one day at a time, I guess. But yeah, the new year is in a few days, and we are also praying that our insurance actually can cover IVF, because if we go with the CNY, we will actually have to travel to Colorado Springs. And that just like is fine, but it just adds like a whole other wrench. Our whole last year, or at least the last like 5 or 6 months, feels like we put our life on hold to do the IUIs. And, we haven't really made travel plans because I was hoping I'd be pregnant and I don't know how I'm going to feel. It would not be ideal to like have to plan our first couple months of the year around traveling for fertility again. It just feels like it's taken over. So yeah, I mean, here we are. Thanks for following, and we will see.